예, 근데
Oh, don't stare. How would you look after eons in some ghastly crypt? Your people are rather prone to death. Mine are not. Yet when I emerged from my completely unjustified imprisonment, I found them gone. Our culture forgotten. Any trace of the world I knew all but obliterated. I must even hide my true face beneath an ever-shifting mask for fear you savages will attack me. That is how I wander this strange world, trying to uncover the truth about a history you primitive people never even knew existed.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. but instead I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry, the sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now. No need.
Well now, aren't you a curious sight? If I'd had a mask to hide... Where'd you get it? There can't be many curios like that in the world. Is that a fact? I've never heard such silken tones from a naked skull. So powerful that you've been overpowered by clowns in red capes and a glowing necklace. Still, you'd best keep that mask on. The living don't take kindly to seeing their future staring back.
And now you are silent. If only all humans were so thoughtful. An animal sty. Freight or food?
Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicks you right in the shin. You are you, but you look to your hands, your belly, your feet. Flesh, your fingers trace a line from your head to your face.
Boring.
Before you can even touch the lever, you hear a sniff and snort behind you as the
Wait, you're no magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy scrounger? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face. And it's about time too. The lads and lasses up there again. Can't just leave the prisoner alone though. I heard he might be the one causing trouble upstairs. If it's all the same, I think it's... Come on. And keep your hands where I can see them. Hurry it up, sorcerer. We haven't got all day.
No.
dead Magister?
So much
Somebody
for
will
a
have to take the
peaceful
blame for
stroll.
this, and it won't be me.
I'll yield to none. I'm ready. I'll yield to none.
This again? Rubbish.
Empty.
Good thing I needn't worry about splinters. Junk. Under lock and key. And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up.
No marks, no indications of a struggle.
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fit. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why? Because we're at sea, of course, and have been for several days.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a...
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, a new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to sauce. Is he? Oh, well. Some problems simply sort themselves, don't they? Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those sauce spells of yours?
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then...
You better stop before you hurt your... There you have it. See? The collar's function. It... For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours.
She frowns and peers at you close.
Delusions such as these are rare, but not unheard of. You've been collared, and you've been told why. They're...
Good gods, there's been a murder here.
Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd...
Easy now. Why don't you move along? Get some fresh air. Waters is investigating. Aren't you enterprising? I'll let Waters tell you no herself.
What a well of knowledge this tome is. Dallas is such a dear lending it to me.
No known associates. In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others. No known associates. In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others. No known associates. In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others. It seems as though there's a pattern in the blood flow. That can't be natural. seemed quite averse to spending time with the others. This is a rare kind of magic. I'll need to write to headquarters right away.
Go ahead. She with the body.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. I thought as much. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Thanks. I just...
Why won't you sing?
Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer. I'm here because I'm magic. Are you here because you're weird?
Ah, there you are. Husband, would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madam, what? What's...
Her pinched face cracks into a great...
Yeah, okay, you found me out.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You presume right.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
Nope. Trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive... You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. As quickly as they came, the clouds...
Good luck, Chief.
Name? Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, eh? We're trying to catch a killer here. Like I said, you aren't on the...
I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make.
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell.
The lizard looks you up and down. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? And of course, a cook who can't taste is about as useful. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor? Oh, but to feel the caress of satin. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The very basics. So, 3 questions asked, 3... As per your own testimony, you can tailor and groom, but you still... Beggars can't be choosers. So without further ado, I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave. Of course you accept. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to... Meanwhile, the Magisters...
I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-stories.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
You one of them? A divine order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence well enough, but make no mistake.
That right. I always knew you'd
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knee. He raises an eyebrow as he...
Listen up, boy. You hear that? As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you.
And? Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mums. But there's more. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an...
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, but it's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it. Pardon my beard. That means if we've been travelling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
Never thought you'd end up a prisoner.
No indeed, boy. But
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes...
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
He continues stroking his beard.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
Soon as the Inquisitor...
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's...
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named ㄷㅅㄴ beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from ㄷㅅㄴ, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger. ㄷㅅㄴ grins, flat.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Oh, no. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing. Wonder if we'll get to meet the Ringmaster himself. Not eager to bow before the great Bishop Alexander, son of the Divine himself. My sentiments exactly. But Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a...
Name!
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something...
Away with you!
ㄷㅅㄴ performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet.
You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like. Rolling dice? Deciding fates. Don't worry, honey.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint.
Never say never, though.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the...
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers, watching, staring at them, hoping that none would stare back. You were thinking of flesh. Or, to be rather more precise, the pleasures of the flesh. Those that have eluded you for so long.
She pats you on the shoulder consolingly.
There, don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me.
Sing us a song. I know you can. Be good, you scallywags.
I don't lick and tell.
The woman keeps rolling her die.
Hey there, weirdo!
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magister's more concerned.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. You faring okay so far? Trust me, with Bishop Alexander in charge, things will get a lot better from here on out. He's God-walking, you know. You head on in now.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of...
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you...
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close.
She reaches for her collar and...
I'm just about to creep.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked...
Precise.
Mask! She stole it. If these savages see me without it, they will have my skull for a goblet.
long before this thing snaps into splinters. Damn. That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards. Great gods! Something's pounding on the hull.
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol immediately for what it is. A warning of death fog within. You press your palm against the door to open it. Your fingers clack against the wood, and you suddenly feel it doesn't budge. The door groans open, but an ashen shadow...
Death fog? Good thing I'm immune. Still, this means trouble. That means there's still a chance.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to...
You said there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time to get the hell out of here. Hear that, kid?
But what about the ladder? It's right over there.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Well, that was decidedly unpleasant. Am I the lone survivor? Depending on one's definition of survivor, of course.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn. They made it to shore.
Prepare yourself!
Bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. Drowned and eaten by a Voidwoken. I wonder in which order.
The squirrel looks at you in shock. Are you sure you want to chase him away? The squirrel turns his nose up at you and turns away. You spot a strange lizard, gazing... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist.
Come to report for duty, have you? I must say I find that very... Word has reached me, you see, through a very sour grapevine indeed. So much easier, isn't it, to look out for oneself alone? Sorry is a word for the weak. Stand by your actions. Besides, I wasn't fishing for an apology. I was merely... So, if there's nothing further... I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite self-evident I was...
He sighs.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Memories. Quite so.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you.
As for myself, I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picked... What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very actual...
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who... The very same. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the world... Of course...
There's a brief moment's...
That said, I suppose I might... The grandeur that is my fate has, truly... A kind offer indeed. You do look... able, though. Fine. On one... For reasons I'll not disclose right now, I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look jolly good. The undead? Come now, did you really think a handful of linen? But don't worry. I have studied the arcane arts for years, including... So, now that that's set, even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence... As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Very well. Onwards, then, to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be traveling with a prince. Proper forms of address include your majesty, your royal... As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't... Of course, there are other forms of...
Ah, hello, small, furry creature.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey. Its eyes clear. The cat's eyes are clouded. It appears confused, and yet... The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it appears
Rubbish. I've spotted something. I need to dig here. I need a shovel.
One must put in due effort if one is to reap the proper reward.
The cat's eyes are clouded. Its eyes...
The squirrel's nose twitches as you...
quite right. Do seek my counsel. I highly recommend it. Happy, are you? And that is the truth? Yet here I am. I stared down death, only to find myself staring. I suppose that puppy-eager expression of yours could be read as sincerity. Very well, then. Not that it matters, really, for I've the distinct feeling I wasn't meant to die today. There was something in the water. A voice made of air that soothed truly. How intriguing. Still.
He hesitated.
Are you a religious person? I'm rather relieved to hear it. Religious. As for myself, I perform the... After all, when one is revered by many as a living god oneself, public deprecation would be needlessly self-important as well, wouldn't you say? There was a small incident which prompted my many rivals to move against such a nuisance, the law. Quite necessary to keep the common in line, of course, but one such as... What I meant was that, being authority, I shouldn't... Sadly, that enlightened point of view quite clearly turned out to be academic. I hardly know you as yet. Let's leave some mystery in the relationship, shall we? There isn't much to say, but for the fact it's the portent of it all. I can feel it. The revelation will... And justified it is too. As certain as the sun, such is my conviction. I will be. I intend to rule an empire one day, not a To that end, I suggest we focus on the obvious. Of course, I'd much appreciate it if we managed to find a dreamer first.
I wonder where this leads.
You hear a small whimpering sound from behind a basket. You peer behind it and find a small human child holding her knees and trembling. The child quiets and seems comforted by your presence. She looks up at you with curiosity. The child nods and reaches up to you. As you hold her, her breathing grows slow and calm.
Thank you, can have this. I found it outside, but I can't reach...
She nestles back into her spot on the ground.
Go! Get out! You are not welcome here! Go, man-pig!
She eyes you suspicious.
Where is she? You go with us. Who are you? Are you from the shelter? She says nothing of another. Fire, alas! She is so late!
The elf looks at you sideways, as though...
I fear this happens. How else does she take us without bribing every guard in this place? I save a reserve, just in case. Here. She says there is a shelter in the marshes outside the fort. She says she brings us there first. Tell her we wait. Tell her...
What's happening to these turtles? They're transforming. Glory is mine. These turtles. They're transforming. swallowed too much seawater by the looks of him.
Foolish to attempt an escape by sea in these waters.
A group of magisters circle an elf, weapons drawn.
Sir!
Ah, planning an ambush with this scion, were you?
Prepare yourself.
Get for you to chew on.
I need aid.
Prepare yourself.
you planning to go, Elf? You've already wrecked the ship and butchered the crew.
No. They kill themselves when they steal my spores. I warned them there. Now I warn you. Tell me where they send the rest, or more Magisters die.
It's Magisters you want, is it? Plenty of those at Fort George.
Sir.
Ah. Planning an ambush with this scion, were you? Ha! You're a spirited one.
I tell you, I am no witch. The spores do this. If...
Store the elven hedge magic. Weren't much use when we Lucian said it was a necessary evil.
You. I try to give...
Oh, sir. Her armor!
The scion twitches in sudden rage.
No more chances.
I've got a new stick for you to chew on.
of magisters circle an elf, weapons drawn.
Sir! Ah. Planning an ambush, just another parasite.
I tell you, I am no...
Store the elven hedge magic. Lucian said it was a...
You!
Oh, sir.
The scion...
No more...
For you to chew on.
A group of magisters circle...
Sir! Ah. Planning an ambush, but you're outside the walls. But we'll get to you once we're...
I tell you, I am...
Store the Lucian.
You!
Oh, sir.
No more chances.
Got a new stick for you to chew on.
hear me, human? You hear me, human? So? What next? Nothing at all is certain. So? Nothing at all is...
Everything has a heart.
Brachus Rex, king, sorcerer, and scholar. There were statues in my likeness round the ancient empire.
The child has a small mirror in his hand.
I'm not supposed to talk to lizards. Really? Like, what kind of stories? A dragon that marries an elf? That's how can I hear it anyway?
You want me to tell the tale of the dragon, but despite your...
Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child looks at you straight on, unafraid.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or no one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside. But you didn't die. There isn't anywhere safe, you'll see. Guess I am.
The child has a small mirror.
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
The child considers your statement.
You're weird. Are you a sorcerer?
The child looks at you straight on.
I don't see any source on you or me. Maybe you're right. At least they don't mind where anyone... They're gone now. Their Majesty's... But you didn't die. I guess I am. But it's just... There isn't anywhere... You'll see.
I repeat myself.
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, ㄷㅂㄴ.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it.
This can't be serious, Alexander.
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
ㄷㅂㄴ pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would the fate of our realm hang... Dallas?
Yes, your head. What a waste. Come.
The lizard magister, or what's left of her, lies in a puddle of...
She was a lizard, yet a magister. No matter her reasons, her penalty was fair.
Your boat ever again. Hey, mister. It's a lot nicer. Sure wish you'd gone back to... So, I did see one of them. Adults always want to...
Rubbish.
Ooh, that's a pretty one.
Did you see him? You did, right? Those claws. Wonder what's behind the The Geists, dummy. The Hammer and Alexander had 2 in tow just a moment ago. Ugh. Thought you lot would be interested in a thing. Ah, no reason. Settle in, eh? A magister will come and find you.
Saw him, didn't you? The Hammer and Alexander. They gave that scaly traitor what for, they did. Missed quite the scene. The bishop himself with his right hand laid down the law and burst into quite the bloody mess she did. Bishop's a son of the dead divine, and the Hammer's a solid sort. Don't take no guff and don't stand for no idling. When you give up the darkness, they're working on a cure for you even now. During the time of Lucian, when we lost him, well, it only made sense to see his can't for certain. But I reckon when God himself, so that's what we do. Lucian gave his life to protect Rivellon. If we let the Voidwoken get to it now, Fort Joy ain't no summer camp. No one said it were, but it's the best we've got to...
He hasn't changed a bit. Always late.
Did you see them, sir? Bishop Alexander and the Hammer herself, they were so close, almost within arm's reach.
A traitor cannot be murdered. A traitor can only receive their due. The divine orders all that stands, believe it or don't.
A fella can't hear himself think with all this rap. You hear that, Farah? You got to cut that out. What's happened to ya?
Known her all my life. Her little girl Irma, too. Farah was a straight-shooting woman in that...
What else do you call hollering after a ghost? That child of hers she's shouting after has... And there ain't no amount of hollering that'll...
Please, please, you must help me. No one here will help me. Oh, bless you, bless you. Irma's her name. She's about as high as your hip. I'm sick with worry. Completely sick. I last saw her just here, near 3 days ago. She was playing with her little doll, and I was washing out her tunic. I turned from her for one moment. This place turns people cold. Cold and wicked. Yes, of course. Here, you should take it with you.
She soaps up.
She ought to come with you then. You are an... Irma? Where are you, darling?
That's it. I call court. Pay up.
The woman is scrabbling at her throat, as though she can hardly breathe.
Don't touch me. You're too close. This collar... Do you? You seem fine.
Her hands move again to her throat. She seems to try to make space between her neck and the collar, but there's no space to be made.
It's getting...
Yeah, what of it?
The woman is scrabbling at her throat, as though she can
Quiet! I can't...
Her hands move again to her throat.
A little respect for Griff's right hand.
Ho ho! Ain't come to shake me down for my knickers, have you? You're all I got left after your buddies were through with me. That's so. Huh. You look just like 'em. But then again, I never was the best at telling your kind apart. No harm intended, of course.
Please, excuse us.
You're talking to me, not...
Oh, for the love...
Say it again. What you said about my wife. Go on. Go on, Sam.
Well, it's the truth, and you know it. She's better off. So what?
A flat smile.
She never did like you.
The man looks for a moment at the corpse at his feet, then turns back toward...
Don't feel too bad. Fella had no decency. If you don't have that, you don't have anything to live for. Maybe they're onto something then.
He nods at you.
Bastard.
Yes, by all means, let us partake in the art of combat. I intend to rule an empire one day, not a tiny... To that end, I suggest we focus on the obvious. A farewell to Fort Joy and a hello to the mainland. Of course, I'd much appreciate it if we managed to find a dreamer first.
Why hasn't Alexander risen yet?
The lizard's brow knits together, then apart, and back again. He seems to be swimming deep in his thoughts.
What? Oh,
New, are you? Very good, very good. Make advice. Hold on to yourself, my friend. The fort is full of decent folks turned savage by confinement. Do not let it happen to you. Goods. Ah, yes. My mind? What else, my friend? I'm wondering why. All of this. Source. No doubt the two are related. Perhaps if we... When another divine arises, will source change back? What if there are no sorcerers? Yet so quickly, we find source so dangerous. What in his death caused it? So Voidwoken are attracted to source. But why? When another divine arises, will source change back? What if there are no sorcerers? Why hasn't Alexander risen yet? I fear it will be quite some time before we find any answers.
What's your hand, Pipspock? What are you loitering? I got my good eye on you. But make it quick. Hell if I know. Don't rightly know if it can be done. If they take the source, sure. Pal of mine made it as far. I never seen one myself, but me cousin up in Gore said one appeared from the clear sky one day and ate up every child under the age of 12. I don't know where they come from, but without the divine, there ain't much we can do to stop them.
I've got that special shipment you was asking after.
Watch yourself.
So, this is Fort Joy.
Surely you'll have one.
What a crumbling design.
Oh,
Griff is slowly, methodically peeling the skin from a potato. As you approach, he looks up, setting the potato, but not the sharp little knife, down on the table.
What? Who's asking?
He smirks. And
I'm listening. Can't help you there. If I could, I wouldn't be here peeling goddamn potatoes. Sure, have a look. Good stuff, huh?
Don't tell anyone where you got this, eh?
Take your coin then.
Oh, they'll cure you of your sauce. Nights.
He points the tip of his blade.
I solve my own problem. Sure, have a look.
If a magister finds us here, you forget my name, here? Everything there? Good.
Good stuff, huh? Worse than war rations, these. Leave him be. Don't
listen. I can help you if you just...
Shut up, elf. This clown, Caught him stealing from my kitchen. Still won't say where he stashed my supplies. Crate of food, citrus in particular. He'll talk, or he'll die quiet. All I want is my supplies. Happy to let this clown die in a gutter instead of my...
I know that look well enough. You're about to pop, ain't ya? Why don't you enter a match and let some of that frust... Nothing I can tell you you can't...
Get off!
He grumbles. Amidst a crowd of screws, bolts, and scraps of...
And what you after? Come again? You another friend of Niles? Now get the hell...
The woman looks up as you...
What do you need? Huh, the hammer got you curious. Yeah, funny name for a... Oh, I don't know. She was a... People do change.
She nods once.
Clever lasser. No wonder what Alexander sees in her. Question is, by all means, get an eyeful.
Come on then, Lexi. Pay up.
This is not your business, Long Pig.
Don't let this moss muncher talk to you like that.
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate?
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff. Especially not one of you.
Gonna pray all day, buddy?
Burrow looks you both up and down, sizing up...
Ah, get out of here.
The elf smiles.
Follow me, before more of them trouble us. There is a safe place.
Ifan rolls his sleeves back down.
Good work there. Good work.
He stretches out one rough hand to shake yours. He grips your hand tight as a vice and pauses.
Say, you don't look all that busy now that we're... I've just got a small errand to run. And then I'll be looking to get the hell out of here, while I've still got a neck to collar. How about we stick together until we get out of this place?
He shrugs, looking up.
Mercenaries. It's a job. My job. Everyone needs to make a living. I make mine running errands.
He shoots you a flinty look.
Lone wolves only share such information with friends.
He grins, sharp.
So, before we hit the road, survival's my main priority. I'll use every trick in the book to keep us alive. But if a wayfarer's not what you're after, I've got other skills. What do you need? Can do. Onwards.
He scans the horizon.
Right you are.
Vara. She ain't coming.
Say what you will about the Divine Order.
Where is he?
Vara. She ain't coming back.
He hasn't changed a bit.
Move along, eh?
Bow your head, please! If we chant the endless prayer, the next divine... It isn't the words you speak, but rather that you speak them. So do I. Some blame the Voidwoken...
Bloody cavies. Too big for their boots, as usual. You know, elves.
I saw what you did there, convincing Burrow not to lay the law down on that elf. Why do you want to help one of... You watch yourself.
You there. You've just arrived, isn't that right? Are you quite... It's just... I've a proposition. Something very worth knowing. Oh, noble. Good luck with your...
I've had more bouts of scabies than baths in this place, you know.
When another divine arises, will source change back? What if there are no sorcerers?
I'll be with you soon, love.
He taps hammer to nail and...
I found you, didn't I? Red, they said. Red, then dead. Not an attempt, mate. Time's up, Your Highness. It's stabbing time.
Leave me. Go. You leave.
Come on then, Lexi. Pay up.
This is not your business.
Don't let it...
An intent...
Just stand...
Lone wolf.
The thug...
Pay up, elf. No one...
Burrow looks... The...
Follow, there is a...
Ifan rolls his sleeve.
Good work.
He grips your hand.
Say, you don't look all that big. I've just...
He shrugs.
Mercenaries. Everyone needs to make a... That's the truth. Why not help each other? The usual. Two heads are better than one.
He grins.
So, survival's my main priority. I'll use every trick in the book to keep us alive. But if a wayfarer's not what you're after, can do.
He scans the horizon for threats with...
Right you are.
You there. You've just arrived, isn't that right? Are you quite an... Oh, very droll. Listen up. You must think me mad to approach a I've been here a long... I have a way... Are you interested? Believe whatever you want. This may be your only chance at leaving this place. You're lost, my...
I'll be with you soon, love.
He taps hammer to nail and doesn't look...
I found you. Them that pay the bills are called. Time's up, Your Highness. It's stabbing time.
Show yourself!
mine.
I'm ready!
Nuisance these assassins are. It's their frightful manners I mind the most. Well, that was rather fun, wasn't it? I do find it ever so invigorating to cut a... Oh, one gets used to this kind of thing so quickly. This is hardly the first time someone... I'll tell you what, though. Whomever all those bumblers they've sent so far mark a mere insult.
The woman looks out on the gently lapping...
Haven't seen you around here before. Well, don't you here alone?
She gives you a laugh.
You keep them friends of yours. Not much in this world someone you love can't make better. Used to be I had a family, then they brought us here. I couldn't stop. Now I'm just waiting for him to call my name.
Her eyes
Kind of you to ask. Stefan, he was my little one. Smart as a whip and no less wicked. And my husband, he was called Felix. He was an expert healer. Could fix a broken bone in a short minute.
She talks for some time about birthday. Joy radiates from her.
What a gift to think of them. I'd like to give something. Take care of yourself.
Here you are. I wonder what keeps you. Tell me your tale. Start from the beginning. Start from where you come. I see, I see. Now tell me more. I understand. Now tell me how your story ends. To draw back the veil and we can see the things we lose. Not with our eyes. It is nothing. Many fragments swirl on my shore.
Amid the squalor of Fort Joy, you suddenly spot an elf with... She was the one who sat rolling down. Her eyes are focused on a lizard some distance away. and you get the distinct feeling he's an unfortunate man indeed to be... No sooner have these words left your mouth.
You caught me off guard. No one catches me off guard. Better tell me who you really are. Not so very far from home, I'm sure.
A push, a pivot, and now you, despite the precariousness of your situation, you notice...
Let me tell you, once upon a bad old... But now I'm free. Of sorts. I intend to raise the subject with him.
She drives the needle...
In truth, it does not matter in the least. That makes you a liability. That makes you...
A bright sparkle of...
Ha! How? Make your case and do it quickly. Why should I join you? Escape. How you do... A silly thing to say. Oh, little needle You know what? Today is a rather fun... I'm not quite sure that...
With a casual flick of the wrist, she withdraws the needle from your neck and smiles, as if she just invited you to sit down for tea.
Yes, the needle did find you rather tough to chew. Then this may strike...
She tilts her head ever so slightly, and...
Let's discuss. You mean death will be playing As a rogue, my speciality is stealth. The quick silence of the dagger striking unseen. Suits me fine. Lead on, then follow me.
You're not quite certain you'll ever... Just as you're about to address the lizard, the Red Prince bars you with an outstretched arm.
This man is a dreamer. As you know, I need a word with him. You may wait here. Permission indeed.
He bids the dreamer stand up. The dreamer then chews and he falls asleep. To your surprise, the Red Prince pinches the bridge of his nose in apparent irritation. Before turning his back on the... You receive a withering glance in response.
A deserved bit of sarcasm, I suppose. But though this sting-tailed fellow may be turns out I'm being hunted by an enemy I didn't know. The dreamers, though, they're on my side. And they've visions of me on the throne. Of course it is. But to keep it, I must find a second dreamer. Bahara is her name, and she resides in the swamplands east of the fort.
You know, I could tell you all about swamp dreamers too if I chewed that much Druidine.
As you're about to approach the lizard...
Listen, I need to have a chat with this here morsel of flesh. He has wronged me once.
To your surprise, Sabine proceeds to throttle the unsuspecting lizard. You hear him yelp about the master. Then, quite suddenly, there's blood everywhere as Sabine heaves a sigh.
Chat's over.
Demon elf, how dare you strike down a dreamer?
Something on your mind? It's simple. He scarred me, so I scarred...
She defies you with...
Can you blame me? There it is. I was... Anyway, what's dead is done, so let's move on, shall we? Despite my high hopes, the search for the master continues, of course. Stingtail mentioned a cook, as it happened.
The old dog whimpers.
Rest now. You'll hide yourself to the grave.
Oh, my...
He smacks your hand away.
You're trying to kill me, ain't you? Get! Those bleeding fools think they should... It's your ugly mug.
To fight the Reaper.
Out, my...
He smacks your hand away.
You're trying to kill me, ain't you? Those bleeding fools think... Sure.
Rest now, or you'll hie yourself to the grave.
As soon as I saw that glint in your eye, I knew we'd make a solid team. Oh, come on, lad. I can take care of myself, as you can see. Well, I've got a contract to complete. After that, getting the hell out of Fort Misery seems the best option. I figure we track down my inside.
ㄷㅅ shrugs off his backpack and reaches into its depths.
Have a read of my contract. So, time to find this Boris fellow.
By the Queen's beard, it looks like you lost a fight with a claw hammer. Reckon you're in need of something to heal yourself up, eh? School of Hard Knocks, University.
Instead of a potion, she hands you an empty bottle and
I knew I saw some talent, and once you've mastered the technique, you'll never need help from a crusty old quack like me again. Dane's as stubborn as an old steer. Says he don't. Still, my job ain't to judge, but to heal. Business savvy. Don't be...
I'm hungry.
See if you're scared to fight the Reaper.
I'd say we're making good progress already now.
he freezes and shoots you a web.
Well, why not? Go ahead.
ㄷㅅ begins counting on his
43, give or take. Indeed. What else do you want to know? Not much, I'll tell you that. Why? What do you think of them? Huh. Sharp eye, but they can't keep the likes of us locked up to...
The sun shines bright upon this island. We may see no bars, but we are firmly behind them here and now. As I hunt for answers, escape must... Let's save those for later, shall... Suffice to say, I need to speak... Ha! Nonsense. Ha! Shouldn't be too hard, trust me. In a final heartbeat. Why? Did you assume I wouldn't? The only thing that springs eternal is blood from... and water from spring. One must cull to cultivate. We are all slaves to survive, so don't say you're sorry. There is no shame in putting oneself first. I know I... Then learn to be. It's quite easy and... ever so advantageous. I walked up to the quay, asked... I'm here to hunt, remember? Here to play a game of tic-tac... My. I did get you all worked up, didn't I? Afraid you won't be able to sleep tonight?
She pulls her hand away, quickly and violently, as if bitten by a snake.
No, it's fine. You see, there's, like all sisters, from time to... If the present is all that matters, you can see what I can do. What comes of this, you must thank you. How romantic a concession, to let a woman kill when she so pleases.
Deplorable surrounding for an... I intend to rule an empire one day. Not to that end, I suggest... Of course, I'd much appreciate it if we... Dozens, I should imagine. Let them come, I say. But that's the whole idea, I'm afraid. See, the ancient empire... We of war rule the empire. And you in me. Bah! I should whip her, but there are broad waters between It's forgiving, but still, you bewilder me just as much, don't you know? It was you who invited little Miss Needlework into the fold. Do you mean to tell me you're comfortable with what she's done? You understand her, do you? Don't let all that understanding of yours trump your comfort. Quite right. Do seek my counsel. I highly recommend it. I intend to rule an empire. To that end, of course, I'd much appreciate it if...
Enjoy your stay, boy.
The Magister stares at the ground.
The Divine is dead. The Bishop is all we have left. It'll be a last as...
Her voice trails to...
I do wish Alexander would ascend sooner rather than later. They say his powers are not developing as they should. It's quite the pickle. Oh, yeah. But who didn't then? He was driving the black... I put my faith in the Bishop. Reminds me of I wish it every night.
Bloody cavies. Too big for their boots this time.
I saw what you did there. Convincing Burrow not to lay the law down. You watch yourself.
Hey, I know.
Losa, the dark-eyed jokes to you.
Back then, I was... Madam... You. Nothing like a nice tentacle slap across the moor to set the tone for the... Me too. Did you hear something? I heard this. Do you know...
Losa's voice catchy as stock still, waxy-skinned, her eyes dark. Grey. Her head snaps to you mechanically. Light suddenly flashes back.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah. It was a shipwreck, all right. Not much more to say about it, I guess. Applies to a lot of situations, actually. Vermin tend to know what's... I've given a few shows around Reaper's Coast. Might be you saw a poster or a flyer. It's nothing really. It's just... I'm just a bit... Put it like this. You've never been... But I'm a roadside inn. Like a goddamn gold star inn for the disembodied.
She gives you a searching...
You seem pretty well adjusted. So, how are you enjoying the joy? Yeah? So, you... And don't worry, by the by. I forgive you for leaving me to drown. Surprise! It hasn't stopped me from thinking it'd be a good idea to travel together. It does, right? Before we head out, lately I've been into the enchanting arts, but I can shoot, slash, summon, steal. Sounds fine. So, we're good, yeah? Hey, wait a sec. It looks like you... Till then.
Say what you will about the divine...
Everything has a heart.
You hear me, human?
group of magisters circle and...
Sir, we've got company.
Ah. Planning an ambush with this scion, were you? The witch don't fool me.
I tell you, I am no witch. The spores do this.
Store the elven hedge magic. Lucian.
You. Oh, sir.
The scion...
No.
For you to chew on.
I'm ready!
fading.
I need aid.
The elf murmurs, stroking her armor as if soothing.
The spores grieve. This is why they grow armor from. It is the Magisters who destroy, who separate the spores, anger them. A sad thing, even so. The spores are creation. I find them, but the Magisters chain me.
She gestures at the entangled corpses, vines still spattering gore onto.
No. You speak like a Magister. The armor is alive. Perhaps then it truly speaks as the ancestor trees do. It does not matter. My spores go and so. It is impatient to be.